Stream and I'm live. Wait, man, I gotta change my camera. Okay, there you go. So I'm streaming, and now I need the link. Share. There we go. Messages. I have a stand, I have a thing for that now. And then I would have just plugged into the power and just let it roll. I know that this phone, see how the thing is shifting? There's a problem with the camera. Right, so I would have a second phone that I would just set it up there and I would have but what happened is I tried this is how do I do that provider? And I have a good mic. I could have brought this mic. This crystal. Have your phone on you? Let me just test it. And nobody has joined. Oh, one person. No, nobody has joined. I just want to make sure that it's working. So I'm going to share. I think I have your number. Share.
Just say at the outset, thank you for coming. this evening. Such much support and love that he expressed. And we come in here 2 days in a row and see this chapel built. And there's no more seats. We appreciate the family. We want to thank you so much for allowing us to spend some time with you. Such an occasion as someone who was so dear to you, that you loved, really cared about so much. It's really been a wonderful thing for us to be part of this. Someone too, and it's can't help but recall the words of Solomon, who said in Ecclesiastes verse 2, "Better a good name is better than good oil, better than the day of birth." People look at that and they say, "It's better than the day of birth." Well, it's because when a baby is born, it's like a blank sheet of paper. But when a person has lived a number of years, number of decades, almost 73, and you know, the name, personality, part of her life in some small way. So thank you as a family. We appreciate too that according to the direction we've been given, we had some copies of this program that were handed out to you, and some from last night as well. And some of the things we'd like to just reiterate briefly, well, that Linda Jereen Jackson, Bernard, 72 of Halifax, and she passed away last Thursday, the 23rd. And it's wonderful to be able to get to visit her in the hospital. Well, many of you did. You got to see her, and she wasn't ever a complainer. She was just biding her time, and knew what to be. But she handled it so well. And she was born in August 45, in Halifax, Nova Scotia, to George and Elsie Spark, and raised in the community of Lake Loon here in Dartmouth. I got to talk to some folks who live down in Lake Loon with Linda. She attended schools like Lake Loon School, Admiral Westfall School, Finley School. She did excel in school. She was very, they say she had the smarts. Quickly she was able to do well with the education. She married Gordon and Arthur Johnston of Halifax June 25th, 1965, and had one daughter, Darla. Darla Johnston, yes. And on January 17th, 1986, Linda married Charles Daniel Jackson of Hammonds Plains. Her husband for 27 years until he died in 2011. So she lived quite a life and filled it with many wonderful memories. As a third of 9 children, Linda embraced her role as a child caregiver. She helped people. And when I heard some of the beautiful comments that were made last night about all the wonderful things she did, it was just amazing. I thought I knew Linda. But you know, it's like someone says, "Yeah, I know that person," but what do they know really about that person? So it's wonderful that she spent time at Nova Scotia Home. She worked in Dartmouth, I spent at Hermes Electronics, and as Darla was saying last night, she was driving a car, dropping them off. She went to her, but she came back and picked Mom up after work. They had a wonderful relationship there, and upon retirement, Linda returned to love her children. She became a caregiver of 2 granddaughters and 2 great-grandchildren, fully retiring in 2005. And that was just around the time that to meet Linda about her, and the conference I mentioned to her that unfortunately because of the delay, what's going on? Well, despite touches that she had for 18 years, you know, that's some period of time to deal. She enjoyed many different things. She enjoyed cooking, baking. She was very skillful with many things. She was able to think that good food, murder, study people, and something that's not meant to be bowl. So I would like to put down at the bowling alley with her, but she loved a lot of different things about life. Enjoyed that, but she was also a dedicated person who loved God, loved the Bible. She appreciated being a part of the country we are part of in Fairview, and she had been in other locations. But wherever she went, she left a mark. Her foot, so many and believe that she well in the assemblies and the conventions and so on. And it's interesting. I thought it was quite amazing. Like when I used to pull into the King Hall parking lot there on Parkland Drive, she was one of the third or fourth cars that was pulling in. I said, "My dear." But she was really on time. So good lesson. But you know, when we think of all the good things that she's able to accomplish and do, she's had quite a profound effect on many lives. And she was predeceased by her parents, George and Elsie Bernard, husband Charles Daniel Jackson, and eldest sister Vera Sewell of Toronto. And we know that some are here today. They traveled all the way from the west coast, from Ontario, different parts of the country. It's a wonderful thing, which shows the amount of love and appreciation that individuals had for Linda. She's survived by her daughter Darla, Richard Shane, and Halifax, and granddaughters Sharifa Upshaw, Halifax, Jamila Shaw, Toronto, siblings, and Camilla Watkins, Walter of Vancouver, BC, Mary and Mulder Donald, who is deceased, and Dr. Wanda Thomas Bernard, Gary Bernard, Charlotte, his wife, and Shalene Bernard, Dalvina Bernard, and from where we live, her husband Don, Kimberly Bernard, all of Halifax, goddaughter Crystal Mulder, whom I met a number of years ago as well, and foster sister Trudy Shepherd, Toronto, and 8 stepchildren, several step-grandchildren, and many in-laws and nieces and nephews and cousins. One thing about it was that whoever she met, she had developed a relationship with, and she came to love very much. And we mean that sincerely. She was a wonderful person, and so the family also extended their appreciation to all of the friends for coming, and also to the hospital staff there at QE2. And we know that got very good care at the hospital, and she really enjoyed the visits that she had always. But just take the opportunity now, Sharif, to come up, and they wanted to just say a few words in behalf of the family. You know, it's not easy, but we'd like to hear your comments, please.
Hello. Once again, there really are no words to say, but I just want to say thank you so much, everybody, for coming out and all the love and support that you're getting. Mimi is a very lovely, selfless woman who spoils everybody she loves. And we are so grateful that she's here with us. I love you, Mimi.
Well, thank you very much, girls. We appreciate it very much. It's quite a loss when someone is gone from us. It's like a flower that's been snipped off of the stem. But it's good for us to appreciate reaching out, comforting others at times like this. That's something that really all of us who are here today, we've all been affected by death in one way or another. But it's nice for us to demonstrate our appreciation and our love for ones that we're close to, that we lose. And of course, death is an enemy. That's what the Bible says, and it's true. Death is an enemy. No one wants to really die. In fact, our loving Creator, they put, as Solomon said, eternity into our hearts. Nobody really wants to die. But because of circumstances we're in, we see that that's a part of life, living and dying. Well, Linda, she was a bit shy. She was quite funny. The sense of humor she had. And she couldn't pull the wool over on try as you might. She knew how to read you quite well. But what did Linda really come to know and appreciate about life as she got older? Because we know that as a young person, she became very responsible. And we heard some beautiful comments about her last night when she was very young, things that she did to help her friends and family especially. But she believed in God, believed in the Bible all her life. And so when she started looking into the Bible, she came to appreciate that the truth about life and death. And it's interesting, all the answers she found that they're really there. And she opened the Bible, for example, and read about Abraham, faithful Abraham, and how he mourned and he wept when he lost his beautiful wife Sarah. That was a very difficult time for Abraham. She read also, for example, about Jesus, how he raised children back to life. Jesus even went to the point of raising his close friend Lazarus back to life. Read about that in John chapter 11, where Mary and Martha were very perplexed. And Jesus went to the tomb where Lazarus was. Jesus said, Lazarus is sleeping. And they looked at him like, say what? Lazarus is asleep? Well, he said, yes, Lazarus really has died. So what Jesus was doing was equating sleep and death. And so he was saying that he had died and he really was in a sleep-like condition. And so we appreciate when Jesus went to the tomb, he cried out with a loud voice. He said, Lazarus, come on out. And it says, the account says that the man who had been dead for 4 days, he came on out of that tomb. He'd been dead for 4 days. He started to decompose. But can you imagine how Mary and Martha must have felt when their brother came out of that tomb? Wow. And so, really, when a person dies, it's like they're in a sleep-like condition. Linda, she's not suffering. She's not harming anybody. Anyway, she was a very kind and caring person. But there's about death. And so that's why sometimes when you walk through R.I.P., rest in peace. And I know Darla made that comment yesterday too. She said, it's nice to know Mom is just in a peaceful state. But it's good for us to appreciate too what the Bible says about that. There's an interesting account in Ecclesiastes. Solomon, whom we quoted earlier, he made this statement in Ecclesiastes chapter 9 to tell us the condition of the dead. No one's ever come back from the dead and say, well, you know what it's like? But the Bible tells us what it's like. In fact, in Ecclesiastes 9 and 5, it says, for the living, they know that they will die. But the dead don't. Nor do they have any more reward because all memory of them is forgotten. Well, they're not totally forgotten. They're in God's memory for sure. But in verse 10, it says, whatever your hand finds to do, don't do with all your might, for there's no work, nor plan, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave where you're going. So it's encouraging for us to see what the Bible really says about it, is that living in peace. And when Jesus, when you think death, have you ever had such a deep sense something was happening and maybe in your neighborhood, or maybe there was a terrible storm that went through, and someone tells you about it in the morning and say, hey, we had a ripping thunderstorm last night. And you wake, you say, we did? I didn't hear a thing. But because you were so unconscious in sleep. And that's what death is like. So we appreciate when the psalmist in Psalm 146 and verse 4 said, his spirit goes out, he returns to them, that very day his thoughts perish. What the psalmist was saying when he said the spirit goes out, like Linda as well, the last breath of life, she was no longer living. And so that's what that Hebrew word for the breath of life or spirit is it's a different Hebrew word than what many people believe. In because the Spirit actually is talking about the breath of life. The same breath of life that actually God instilled in Adam, who was just a lifeless form lying on the ground, and then God breathed into him the breath of life, and he came to life. Now he was a living person, a living soul. So we appreciate that, we see every day, we watch the news, we turn on the radio, or iPad, or whatever, and we see, about 55 million people die every day throughout the world. That's a lot of people, 55 million, more than the population of Canada. And it's painful when you lose someone, but it gives us an opportunity to reflect how quickly life can be lost. Some here in the audience, they've lost mates, they've lost fathers, mothers, grandparents, they've lost children. And so we appreciate it. It's not easy. And so it's good that our loving Creator, Jehovah is his name, according to the Bible, he's helping us to understand that he's a loving and compassionate and caring God. He's merciful toward us, imperfect humans. And so the Bible talks about him extending undeserved kindness to us. And that's so true. Anything is imperfect humans, but he extends. And that's that he even sent his son. You know that scripture, John 3:16. God loved the world so much. Yes. Yeah, we know that by heart. And so then it goes on and says that everyone exercising faith, or those believing, deeply believing in that provision of the ransom, and have everlasting life. So when we look at why we got into this situation, our Creator saw that when Adam and Eve were given free will, they had everything good in the garden. But God said, don't touch that tree, because it was actually representative of the sovereignty that he possesses, that he has the right to direct how humans live. And of course they rebelled. They chose to do their own thing. And that's why the Apostle Paul said in Romans 5:12, he said, just as through one man sin entered into the world, and death through sin, thus death spread to all men, because and so we are imperfect, we're sinful, so thanks to God that he has provided a ransom, paid the price so that we can have a hope. But being humble and receptive like Linda was of truth, she recognized that there's a reason why Jesus came to the earth, and that he died and was raised to heavenly life, and he actually gave the value of his sacrifice to his Father and said, this is it, I've done what you wanted me to do in behalf of humankind, to give them a hope. So when you think of the hope that we have, everlasting life, living forever, who would want to live in a world like this forever? No one in their right mind. And that's why in the last book of the Bible, and Jehovah told John through Jesus Christ, he said, gave him a vision, and he said that he was going to wipe out every tear from their eyes, and death will be no more. Neither will more crime or pain be anymore. Former things have, he said, I'm making all things good. So entertain, back to life, different kind of conditions. And that's why, just as Jesus mentioned in John chapter 5, John was a very close apostle to Jesus, probably closer than any of the others. He talked a lot about love. And he also talked about the hope that's held out. In John chapter 5, in verses 28 and 29, Jesus was talking about the authority that was given him. But then he went on and said, most truly I say to you, the hour is coming. And it is now when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God. And those who pay attention will live. And then he went on in verse 28, he said, don't be amazed at this. The hour is coming in which all those in the memorial tombs will hear his voice and come out. So yes, the Bible talks about the resurrection, which literally means a standing up. So can you imagine being reunited with your dead loved ones? What a wonderful privilege that will be. Much to look forward to. So the Bible speaks of that hope. It is real. It's a real hope. It's not so make-believe. And we have lots of evidence that's given to us to furnish why we can believe in the resurrection. A number of people, even Peter resurrected a faithful woman, and we have wonderful examples to help us see that death is not really part of what God God wanted for us. It speaks also of the called and chosen to be raised to heavenly life. And those chosen by God will serve, the Bible says, they're going to serve as kings and priests over the earth. So in 13, I have subjects who are the paradise place meant it to be. And that's why Jesus said to the evil, I tell you today, you will be with me in paradise. So while we find this truly encouraging to us to know that God loves us and He's given us a wonderful, sure hope, how do we benefit even now? Well, realizing that, as Solomon said, time and unforeseen or unexpected events can happen. Sometimes we hear of people who died, and you say, God, they were so young. What happened? Well, they were in an accident. Or maybe they contracted some kind of disease and got sick and died at a very young age. People today, as we mentioned, are dying by the millions each day, which is really quite a thing to think about. But it gives us an opportunity to reflect on our own lives and think about, what am I doing with my life? We live in a world that makes tremendous demands on each one of us. Each day we have things thrown in our face. You know, you've got to buy the best. You've got to get this. You've got to do that. And is it material things and money are the most important thing in life? So it's wise for us to recognize that Jesus even mentioned that too, not to be caught up in the things of this world, not to be anxious about all these things. Seek first the King, His righteousness, and all these other things will be added to you. We want to store up treasures in heaven, making a good name for God. And it takes effort to do that. It's easy to run that broad road that leads off. And we know where that is. Jesus said to destruction. So it's good for us to really realize, as friends, we want to encourage one another. And we know that you do that. We love you for that. We appreciate that. No matter who we are, no matter what nation we've come from, or what race or color or language, we're all part of the same human family. We're all brothers and sisters. And we thank God for allowing us to come to know and appreciate others. And we look forward to developing that relationship with Him. And that's why Solomon mentioned in Ecclesiastes that we read earlier in chapter 7, in verse 2, of mourning and the house of feasting. For that is the end of every man, and the living should take it to heart. So, this is some of the things that Linda came to understand and appreciate. And knowing about the truth about life and death and resurrection, it certainly gives us incentive to want to learn all we can about our Creator and about His loving Son, who willingly came down and was willing to give His life a very cruel, painful death in our behalf. What a loving thing that God has done in our behalf. This is some of the things that Linda strived to do in her personal life. She developed a good relationship with God. She was a friend of so many. Wonderful. And she was really a sweet, caring person. And it's true that she's going to be missed. I know by the family, especially friends, people who close to her. She'll definitely be missed. But just take a point from last night's program I heard, which is true. She'll be missed, but not forgotten. So remember, we've got good memories. So the time to end for being here again today. It's good for us to reflect on these good things. Following the service, we'd just like to mention too, the family want to let you know that there'll be a repast. There's some fellowship and some refreshments here on site. And if you're able to stay, we welcome you to be able to do that, and to have a little bit of time together to associate. Very nice. We're going to close with a song and a prayer. And the song that we have chosen is a song that's based on the book of Job. You'll notice it on the program. It's on the back page of your program. And it's song number 14. And it's entitled, He Will Call. If you'd like to stand, you're welcome to do that. Our loving and all-wise Heavenly Father, Jehovah, we come to you through your Son, Christ Jesus. We thank you for such a large audience of friends, family members, who so much love and concern for Linda. And it was evident that by the way that they lived their life, not just the last few weeks of her life, but throughout the life, a lot of wonderful memories we won't forget. So may you continue to bless the family. Please may your Spirit be upon them to guide and direct and help them to cope. We know that time will help heal, but we know that a loss like this is such a tragedy, and yet we understand why we die and the hope we have. So please accept our thanks. We appreciate the wonderful ransom provision and the love that Jesus showed in coming to the earth and dying for us. We are so you show such compassion toward us. So please and forgive us